I'm feeling good.
I want to share a little something with you guys prior to getting started here. It's a piece that I actually wrote a long time ago, and I was going through the journey, I found it, and it seemed kind of kismet that I found it, because I was like, I forgot about this. I didn't even remember that I had this, but it spoke to me in that place, and I said, you know, I should share this. So I'm going to share that with you today. I tell stories that weave together the lives of strangers. Look into my eyes and you'll see the duplicity that is my soul and yet your reflection. That mirror essentially makes the connection between you and me. The difference is only the flesh that IDs us but is not us. I find the words to articulate for the inarticulate when the experience can only be described in outrageous phenomena. I am the channel that moves the spirit of thought and feeling, and it moves towards you. From my lips to your ears go the stories that weave together the lives of strangers. I speak the you, me, he, she, it, me, they that create one. With erasable ink, I write your pages in my book because I choose to capture you in that moment, those moments, these moments. You're now, then, and will be, and I hope you don't mind. But be open, be mindful, and listen. Thank you. I wanted to share that because it was from a vulnerable place, and I'm so appreciative of your support, and I'm so appreciative that you're here today, and it's not freezing cold like it was the other day. I'm appreciative for free parking for everybody as well, but I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so overwhelmed by this whole experience and this whole journey that one of the ways that I felt that I could really convey that was through sharing a vulnerable moment with you. And that piece really speaks to confidence. Something that when you're going through this process can sometimes fall and come back up. You have those moments where you're like, I don't know if this is gonna work for me, like what are people gonna think? And you have to kind of build yourself back up. And at this point I said, you know what? It doesn't matter, I have to kind of keep going. And that's the place from which I wrote that piece that long time ago. And it's the place that I needed to be in order to really celebrate this day and not think so far ahead of where I have to go, where do I have to be, what's my vision 5 years from now. I just want to be in the moment. So I wanted to thank you all. So for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm just going to show the book trailer, and then I'll do a reading of a few of my favorite pieces for you, okay? All right? Yeah, so for those of you who hadn't seen, I know there's a few faces here that may not have seen it. I just wanted to show you the book trailer, and it's just my way of giving you an idea of what the book was about. So I'm going to do a few pieces from the book, read a few pieces. I just want to point out that from the trailer you can see it's kind of a meld or a combination of fiction and poetry, mostly because I love characters so much. I didn't want to give up on that to write the poetry. And I thought, well, how can I still delve into character and build these characters and build these relationships and this interaction and still write poetry? And this was my answer, basically, to that question. So as I read, I'm going to let you know which character is speaking at the time. And after I'm done reading, I'll open it up for any Q&A. We are an intimate group, and this is warm space, and I love that about the space. So it is not, there's no wall up here, right? So you can definitely interact, ask any questions that you may have, and I will answer them. Okay? All right. So this first piece is from my only named character. She's kind of the central piece, Kayla, and it's called Graduation. My feet leave the ground as you lift me up on raised arms, but the elevator never stops at the top floor. It never stops. The grapefruit-sized lump in my throat can't be swallowed at this height, and the air is thin up here where my chest tightens in the quest to inhale. And you keep lifting like fans holding up their star player, but I forgot how I got here. Here where whispers become thoughts I didn't know I had, where I can't believe in purple skies and onyx rainbows, where creation is gobbled up by the ones who only color in the lines. Up here, my voice succumbs to the weight of gravity, falling to pieces on the ground below my feet. We like to clap, do we snap? Whatever you're feeling. Yes, definitely, right? This next piece is from Mama, and it's called The Price of Silence. It's not okay you make me want to run. Your endless wails have shattered the bones that keep me standing, and I think of leaving you here to drown in the abundance of your tears, proof of your distaste of my presence in your home. I imagine you slip slowly to the ground. The tears finally stop. I can close these eyes for just a second short of dreaming and wake up ready. I'll hold you with a lighter touch then. Your smile will stop my trembling fingers. But right now, my head holds foggy images of you in the womb. Only my ears know how you hate this place and this actor made to portray the role of doting mother. And I am. I will be. Tomorrow. But today, the feeling passed through me as quickly as a gust of wind and fall, and I saw 1,000 pupils burn through me for the thought. And this melanin coursing through me says, be okay. So these lips are stitched, silenced in a medicinal prayer. This next piece is from Sister, one of my favorite characters, just because she's just young and sprightly. So I had to read something from her. And sassy. I think that's an apropos word as well. So this is from Sister, and it's called Under Construction. Daily collages of magazine pages reveal 2D images of smooth-faced girls filling out extra small camisoles. And I'm stuck between the shadow they cast, hidden between womanly orbs, peeking over pink silk blouses. I see the difference when the hungry eyes of teenage boys follow the ebb and flow of each defined curve and gloss over the transparency of my own flesh. But the straighter lines of this budding body still move with firm steps amid the daily tsunami of Coke bottle figures sitting atop platinum pedestals. Perfect forms carved in the image of Venus live in the back of my mind. I trap them there with the chains I use to break the mold, for I am more than the arch in my hips and the roundness of my breasts. All right. This next one is from Aunt, and it is called Time. My bed is narrow, but fit for a queen. It carries with it the solitary dreams of a life as full as the ocean is wide. My ears ring with laughter loud enough to suppress the lump in my throat my friends call pride, but as the sun beckons me to wake, my outstretched arms touch no warm flesh beside me. I've created my own destiny from nothing, traveled the 7 seas, seen the miracle of the pyramids, marveled at the beauty of the Sahara, leaned on the the Tower of Pisa and discovered my own spirit, yet today, as I lay here staring at my ceiling, I am reminded of time's unbiased grip. It has slowed me, transformed me into a casual observer who watches the linked finger handhold of passersby on her morning walk, watches a child leap carefree into her mother's arms, watches her friends glide down the aisle, and then leaves. In the time I call before, there was more to me, more for me. Before, time waited. In those years, I captured movement so that I'd never know stillness. But I have let movement go. Perhaps to feel the motion of a tiny foot against a ripe womb, to know the cozy heat of another as we relish the stillness. For now, this only happens in the space of my dreams. For now, I wait to find my body cold in this space, ready, if time will let me, to trade in my narrow bed for a king. Thank you. Last one, and this is also from Aunt, just because I love this piece, because it feels good to me. It's for all of us who've been in love and been in that situation and not been able to describe it, haven't been able to find the words for it, because it just seems like there aren't words for it. So in the spirit of that, this is called Beyond Words. You feel like mashed potatoes and collard greens on Sunday, like that first lick of an ice cream cone in July, like the exhale after a deep breath, like the final puzzle piece put in place, like the last bite of mac and cheese, like silk fabric on newly clean skin, like gentle fingers gliding across an eager scalp, like a sip of the sweet, spicy milk left behind after the cinnamon toast crunch is done, like the cocoon of a blanket on a January night, like the soft kisses of a loving child, like the journey from standing to landing in a pile of fresh snow, like coloring outside the lines like Fridays after 5, like the slight tug of the ribbon across my stomach at the finish line, like the slow roll of gloss across my lips, like flawless lyrics sung over a beautiful beat. You feel like purpose redefined in the arms of a man who fills the spaces between my curves. You feel like coming home again. Thank you. So those are just some of the pieces you have to look forward to in the book. There are many more, but I just wanted to open it up, and I'll see if I can move a little closer. Val, I know you might have to back up a little bit there. But I wanted to kind of open it up to you guys and see if you guys had any questions or for me about the writing process, about the book. I'm an open book today. I guess pun intended. Why not, right? That's a great question. Look, I guess the answer to that question is yes and no, just because I created the characters, but sometimes I had people in mind, or people who kind of melded together to create that character, or I had a certain energy in mind, and I had to, in order to put myself in that space, I thought of that person. So the Nana character does have elements of my maternal grandmother, who did enjoy a cigarette every now and then, and was honest and blunt and unapologetic for what she wanted to say, and definitely sassy in her own way. So I definitely had elements of her in mind. I have a good friend, Ogechi, who I just think inspired me to write Sister, because Sister is so grounded in the natural, and I thought of her for that. And for the I'm not a mother yet, so a lot of the ones where dealing with motherhood and things like that, I really had a lot of conversations with my own mother when it came to that, just to kind of get some insight, because if I'm going to write it, then I want to feel like I'm writing it authentically in terms of the experience that I know I hadn't had. And so that was something that I did as well. So I hope that answers your question. Anybody else have a question? Comment, concern? I feel like when I'm teaching and I ask my students that after something and there's that blank, like, lull, right? When you're like, did my question land? Definitely, I think if you're a writer, you have those moments where you're like, oh, like, I don't know what I'm going to say today. And I definitely got those. And those moments where I knew what I wanted to say, but it wasn't gelling on the page. I was like, whatever's in my head is much better than what's coming out on this page right now. But I've learned you just kind of get it out and come back to it, take a break, write something else, journal. So I've learned kind of how to get myself out of those moments when I'm just like, oh, you take a break. But a lot of times, once I put the pen to the page, something's coming out. So that's always a good thing. You know what? I think a lot of them were moments and memories. You'll know, I'm a New Yorker, and I don't know, any New Yorkers? No New Yorker? All right, okay. So there are elements of just memories from New York, like going to the corner store and, getting candy from the corner store, the little bobos that our moms put in our hair, getting my hair straightened when I was younger with the hot comb they put on the stove, and you sat in the kitchen and you winced, and just those kind of moments. And barbecues, specifically at my cousin Cara's house, usually around Memorial Day weekend, playing spades, and it was serious. And that there's definitely one. It was, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, yes, it was definitely serious, right? So that's definitely in there too, because you remember that kind of camaraderie, and it's almost like a battle. Those kind of memories started to become the stories and of the characters themselves. So, and that kind of helps with the interaction as well. But those moments kind of come in there. I don't think I've written anything specifically in regards to a specific story and kind of recreated that, no. But yeah, definitely moments. Why there are no men. Hopefully the men in here don't feel it. They're like, there's no men? We didn't know that. Right? But no, there are no men, but there are men mentioned. And I wanted this to be kind of an empowerment and speak to a very womanly experience, because women deal with so much. And there's a lot of silence regarding what women deal with, or it's only in kind of little circles and things like that. And I'd like to get into the minds and kind of bring that out full circle. And so that's why it's focused on the women. But the men are definitely talked about, and not in a bad way solely. There are definitely very wonderful male characters in here that help some of these women as they're rediscovering themselves, that help them in that journey, right? Because you have to do it for yourself, but there are definitely men in some of these women's lives who make it easy for them to realize that they are women and that they are beautiful. And I definitely wanted to write in those kind of male characters. Even though you don't hear a male speaking specifically, you do hear them spoken of. And the perspective of the women and the males is always really important, right? Because men, say they don't know what we're thinking, we're complicated, all that jazz, right? But this gives an opportunity to hear kind of what women think when these men come in and kind of change the game for them a little bit. And it's interesting. And for other characters, the men are fleeting. It's a moment, but it's a good moment. For other characters, they bring a sense of excitement and newness, especially for Sister, who's a little younger. She's 15, 16, and if we remember back in that time, and that age when we were young with males and boys and girls and all of that, she's kind of rediscovering or actually discovering things when it comes to boys. So there's definitely a male presence.
Quick question for you, bro.
What's up?
How you feel about there being no brothers in there, man? No dudes in the book, man. You okay with that?
It's more so about the artistic value. I like how she kind of like eloquent in words. I read the first 2 poems. So I kind of like how she said how she bring the men in there, and you can kind of see emotionally what was going on a lot of people's mind when those men came into their life. So I think it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
There's only one named character because I wanted there to be something grounded and central. I wanted it's almost a kind of visual thing to say, I know this character is Kayla, and then everybody else in the book is in relation to her, right? Her mama, her nana, her sister, so that you can say this is her story, but you can't have her story, right, without all these other women that impacted her story. When you look at yourself, it's like, yeah, I'm me, I'm this woman, but I couldn't be here and I couldn't deal here if there weren't all these other influences that intertwined and helped me create my story in a way. And so that's why she's that central character. So you get to know her and her story through her telling it and through all the other characters and what it is that they're doing and how they interact with each other. So great questions, thank you. I agree. I think the cover is awesome. Thank you for pointing that out. The cover was actually an original illustration from an artist known as Uth Zen. He's based out of New York City. He is an amazing graphic artist. This is original, like from a blank canvas to this creation. I don't know how he did it. I am not an artist in that way, but he did that. And I said, I want something that was striking. And one of the things that I think is most striking about women are their eyes. And so I wanted it to be close up. I wanted it to be something where you looked at it and that was the first thing you saw, even before the title. We're very visual people. And I thought he did an excellent job. I mean, I want her jewelry, if you ask me. I was like, man, can we make this for me? I was like, she looks great. So he really did that, and he captured the essence of it, and we definitely had some talks back and forth. So if there are any writers out there who are like, I want to jazz up my cover, his information is in the book, you have my card, I can reach him, so you just let me know. He is a professional and full-time artist. Thanks for that question. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. All right, so, definitely mingle, get some water, grab some coffee if you need it, have some food, and if you haven't already or interested, my husband is here where you can get the book. I will be here to sign it, so hopefully enjoy. All right. Thank you.